We're playing Ruby Storm, but Temur, we're playing green for Veil of Summer and blue for Flame of Anor. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is my build of Ruby Storm, or at least what I plan on playing today. I've been loving the Izzet build. You can find that video in the card above. I recorded it about a month ago, and in that video I give an in-depth deck tech on why you should be playing blue. The TLDR is that just Flame of Anor is so good. So not only does it answer Dampening Sphere or Drannith Magistrate, much like an Abrade, it draws 2. So that means it's never dead during the combo turn. But over the last couple months, there's been a shift in cards that people play to beat Ruby Storm. So Magebane Lizard, for example, can't be answered by Abrade. On top of that, if you need removal for enchantments, blue gives you Into the Flood Maw, which can't be answered like a Static Prison. So I believe that blue is the best color splash. The only downside is, with blue, Pact of Negation ends up being your protection spell, and the best thing about green is Veil of Summer. So why not just merge them into one list? That's the question that I have, and in my opinion, really, the only bad matchup that's commonly played for Ruby Storm is Dimir Frogtide, and Veil of Summer is the best card in that matchup. So today we're going Temur, we're combining the best of both worlds, we're combining Gruul Ruby Storm with Izzet Ruby Storm, and hopefully creating a monstrosity that works. That's the idea here. And once again, if you want to know more about the Izzet build, go check out the last video. It will be incredibly helpful for you. But that's my short and sweet deck tech for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you do, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And without any further ado, let's play some Modern. I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the draw, and our opponent has also revealed the Jegantha to start out the match. So we have 4 lands, a Manamorphose, and a Reckless Impulse. This is kind of slow, doesn't really go anywhere. I'm going to take a mulligan. We will keep this. This seems fine. And I think I'll bottom a fetch land. I want to keep the Valakut Awakening in case this ends up being a grindy matchup, and I can then use this to refuel later on. Stomping Ground. Delighted Halfling. Okay. Desperate Ritual, not a bad one. We'll Surveil, and we hit Rail Monsoon Mage. A perfect find. Pass the turn. They play Mountain. Amped Raptor. Interesting. Is this green energy? They hit Fillage, which they cannot put into play off the Amped Raptor. Wow. Okay, so it's Naya energy with Delighted Halfling. Interesting. Was not expecting to see that today. We'll fetch. And I don't think I want to play the Rail. I think we just want to Reckless Impulse and pass the turn. Alright, we hit Arid Mesa and Flame of Anor. If our opponent taps out, we're in a position where we might be able to try to win the game on our turn. Another Amped Raptor. Yeah. They find another Amped Raptor. Okay. And now they swing for 3. We'll go to 15. Do you have a post-combat land? That's what I want to know. They don't. All right. So here's our window. We draw another land. We'll fetch with the Arid Mesa. We'll grab a basic mountain. And now we will play the Rail Monsoon Mage. It obviously resolves. And now, experiencing a little bit of lag here. I just started Magic Online, so that's disappointing. Alright, so Desperate Ritual. We'll choose Tails. No, I would not like to transform my Rail to the back half. Desperate Ritual now resolves, and let's play a Manamorphose. The Rail will now trigger. Choose Tails. We lose the flip, we'll go to 13 life. And now Manamorphose resolves. We'll make red and a blue. Let's expand this little box a little bit. I hate it when it shifts. It drives me insane. So we've selected 1 blue, 1 red. Another land. Okay, so you might be saying you could cast Flame of Anor here, kill a Raptor, draw 2, hope to spike a Ritual into Past in Flames. I think it's just safer here to play the Past in Flames. And one thing to remember is we played the Rail this turn, so Past in Flames is our third spell for Rail. It is not our fourth. We'll say Tails. We lose the flip. And one nice thing about Flame of Anor, by the way, and I don't know if we'll get to do it this game or not, but you can draw 2, which then fuels the Veilcut Awakening. We'll choose Tails. We win the flip. No. So this was spell number 4 for Rail Monsoon Mage. I understand it says Storm count 5, but it does not count towards transforming the Rail into the ultimate. So now we'll Manamorphose again. We'll say Tails. This time we win the flip. No. Blue-red. Ren's Resolve. So I can go Flame of Anor into Reckless Impulse, Reckless Impulse. So I'm guaranteed 3 spells here. I'm going to Flame of Anor, doing 2 modes. We will kill... I guess we target ourselves to draw, and then we will kill Delighted Halfling. So now the Rail will trigger. We'll choose Tails. We lose the flip, so it does not transform into the ultimate. We'll draw 2. I've already played my land, so playing Veilcut Awakening here isn't great. I was hoping to find another ritual in the top, third of my deck. That has not happened yet. So we will Reckless Impulse again. Choose Tails. We lose the flip. All right. Into double land. So it's down to 50-50 here. We're going to play Ren's Resolve and hope that we flip. Okay. This time we win the flip. Yay. We will transform the Rail. And now Ren's Resolve. We did hit a ritual that time. We will -8 with the Rail Leyline Prodigy. We hit a whole lot of lands, but we hit a Strike It Rich. So that's going to give me 1 mana. Ooh, did we actually fizzle here? Because I can't... I think we fizzled. Because even if I find a ritual, I can't cast it now. So we're going to... Let's kill another creature, I think. I just don't want to die. We'll kill an Amtraptor. I'm pretty sure I can't play this for free. No, I cannot. That's a whole lot of lands, Batman. Alright. No, I can't play the Ren's Resolve either. Just mono lands. Okay, we are forced to pass the turn here. That was not a very good combo turn for us. And I don't think it's Flame of Anor's fault. I think our deck just hit a large string of lands there. We revealed 6 lands to the Rail Leyline Prodigy's ultimate. They play Birthing Ritual. And I have to imagine they're going to attack the Rail Leyline Prodigy with at least 1 of these, and then the other will hit me for 2. On the end step, they can Birthing Ritual, sacrificing an Amtraptor. And that looks like what's happening here. They find the Ajani, sure. So we saw 50% of our deck and barely found any mana, which wasn't great. Alright, I am at 8 life. I can fetch for the other basic, which probably makes sense here, because I think we do want to thin our deck. So let's use the Arid Mesa, rather than Shocking. Oh, I apparently already exiled it, and I don't have a fetchable. So that was wonderful. Ah, geez. I thought it was still in our deck. It is in exile, so I should have known better. That's my own fault. I should have checked. That's on me. So what we can do here is splice a Desperate Ritual. Cast that. And now we'll make 6 red mana. Okay. So I can go Desperate Ritual up to 7. And then Veilcut Awakening for a large number. Or I could just Veilcut Awakening now for 3 or 4. And then hope to hit another Ruby Medallion effect. Because we've seen 50% of our deck and we've only seen 1. That's probably the move here. Okay, Veilcut Awakening. We'll put these on the bottom. And if I had figured this out, I could have bottomed a land and then fetched for it, but I didn't. So the question is, do you want the Wish? And I think the answer is yes. So this Veilcut Awakening is a draw 4. We hit a Ruby, and this should be good enough to win the game. Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose, and now we can flashback the Past in Flames. Another Desperate Ritual. Let's play the Ren's Resolve. Another Ruby. Let's play that. Flashback Past in Flames. And it should just be mindless clicking at this point. Desperate Ritual, Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose, This is Storm 15. We'll make blue. Pyretic Ritual. Play the Wish. And Grapeshot. So this game was a little bit messy, but we still got there. I could have played better, and our Rail Ultimate could have been better. You know, a win is a win, though. All right, so we're now on the draw versus Naya Energy. We likely want into the Flood Maw. One nice thing about playing blue is that you don't have to overboard, because your Flame of Anor is also it's built into your deck. Instead of playing Glimpse of the Impossible, you have this built-in card that answers problematic permanents. So you really only have to bring in Into the Flood Maw, and I think boarding out Strike It Rich for Into the Flood Maw is fine, and then you need one more cut. You could do a Past in Flames. You could also side out like one of your 8 Reckless Impulse effects. But I think it's probably Wish. It's either Wish or Past in Flames. I think it's Wish. Let's try this out. We are on the draw for game number 2. I've opened up a Rail Monsoon Mage with 2 lands, but they're both Valakut Awakening. I believe that this hand is still a keep. I know that double tap land is not ideal, especially one that does not surveil. That said, the rest of this hand is quite nice, so we're going to try it out. Wooded Foothills, they fetch. Guide of Souls, sure. We draw an untapped land, that's nice, but I'm still going to play my tap land here, because if I decide I want to try to play Rail on turn 2, I can. Our opponent plays a Windswept Heath, and then grabs a Temple Garden. Amped Raptor, very good start for them. Alright, so they get an energy, and then they reveal, and it's Thraben Charm. Not a good reveal here, not at all. They swing for 1. They're going to use the Guide of Souls ability to level it up here. They have 3 remaining cards in their hand. If our draw is a ritual, I'm going to go for a turn 2. Ruby Medallion. Well, that was a pretty darn good one. Alright, so I will shock myself here with the Steam Bends, play the Ruby Medallion, and then pass the turn. Wooded Foothills. Static Prison on my Ruby Medallion, sure. They fetch with the Foothills. They're at 12. And now they swing for 5, I'll go to 10. And they're just passing, sure. Another Ruby, let's play that. The question is, do I want the Valakut Awakening as a spell? And I think I do. So I'm going to pass the turn. The fear here is that I'm about to go to potentially 5 or less life. So if they have like a Lightning Bolt plus a way to get 2 energy here, I could be dead. Alright, so I'm going to 5. They have 3 cards. We draw on it's a Bloodstained Mire. Let's play Desperate Ritual. Manamorphose. This is spell number 2. We'll make red. I always have the Steam Vents later if I need it. Reckless Impulse. This is spell number 3. Another Ruby Medallion and Past in Flame. So we did see a Thraben Charm already, which makes me a little bit nervous. Let's play the Ruby, because it's going to make this Valakut Awakening only cost 1. And now we're going to play the Valakut Awakening. And I believe we want to do 5 here. I believe that's the right number. I understand that I already have a Bloodstained Mire in my hand, but my odds of drawing an untapped land are pretty high. Oh. I did not want to keep the Flame of Anor. I can't undo it. It's not letting me. Okay, I guess it's for 4. Well, that was a good 4. Pyretic Ritual. I'm going to Past in Flames here and see if they Thraben Charm. They don't. Okay. Pyretic Ritual. Desperate Ritual. With Splice. Okay. If this is a Thraben Charm, I think you messed up. Way too late, my friend. Way too late. Alright. They should have done that in response. So now we will Manamorphose. Let's make red. Another Valakut Awakening. Trying to figure out what I would like to do here. I still have to find a wish. We're going to draw 2 in response, I think. Forgive me. And now we can Valakut Awakening. Because we still have this Desperate Ritual for 6 on the stack. We'll put Commercial District, Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual. How many Manamorphose do I have left? Looks like 3. So the question is, should I bottom the Flame? I think the answer is yes. Also, Valakut Awakening plus Flame of Anor looking very good this match. Alright, so we'll draw 5, and that's the win. Alright, so they're going to exile our graveyard. And now we're going to make 6 mana. We'll play Reckless Impulse, play another Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose, make blue, another Ren's Resolve. Let's play that. Into a bunch of lands. Let's play Wish, and Grapeshot. Easy does it. And that's the match. So we are now 1-0. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Alright, time for match number 2. We're on the draw. I'm going to try this, but it's a little risky, because obviously you don't have a payoff. That said, our deck does have 3 Surveil lands in it, so we can just hopefully use our draw steps and our Surveils to buy some time and win the game. Unfortunately, it looks like we're facing Amulet Titan, so that is not going to be an option. We'll play Wooded Foothills and pass the turn. I'm not even sure if we'll get a turn 3. Okay. Fetch with the Wooded Foothills. We will grab a Thundering Falls, Surveil. Don't need a mountain, that can go to the graveyard. They copy the Amulet, sure. Manamorphose. We will play the Rail Monsoon Mage. Pass the turn. So you might be saying, it's unfortunate that you've used your 1 Surveil before your next draw. Well, depending on what we draw next turn, but also, even if we draw something bad, we can fetch for another Thundering Falls and then try to draw into a action spell with the Manamorphose. Golgari Rot Farm. Okay. Then copy another Amulet of Vigor. A Boreal Grazer. So now they can replay that land. Lotus Field. Looks like we're getting a little spicy. Hive Mind. What? Wild. Alright, Ruby Medallion. Let's fetch. We'll grab Thundering Falls and Surveil. Another Ritual. So that doesn't win me the game. And our opponent had next to infinite mana last turn and did not win the game. So, should I just play Ruby and pass? I think the answer is yes. We know that they still have a Golgari Rot Farm. They play Urza's Saga. Well, that should be good. Alright, Pyretic Ritual. Hivemind is going to copy everything, so our opponent is also going to be able to combo off. But the nice thing here is that I have Wish into the Flood Maw that I can cast at some point. We'll say Tails, we win the flip. No. Pyretic Ritual. Desperate Ritual. What a wild time we're having. We lost the flip, we'll take 1. Play Manamorphose. And now they get to make some colors. Say Tails. We lost the flip again. We'll make 2 blue. Alright, let's play Past in Flames. They have a very good Past in Flames here with no instant or sorceries in their graveyard. We'll choose Tails. We lose the flip again. Yeah, Pyretic Ritual. We'll say Tails. We win the flip. No. I mean, technically, I probably should have held priority and cast all this stuff. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like this. Because now when you do it... But I didn't want to lose all my blue mana, so I think I was being selfish. We'll say Tails. We win the flip. Yes, I'll transform. Alright, so now we draw off the Manamorphose. Tails. And we're all getting tons of mana. Look at our opponent over there. Just mana for days. I will now ultimate the Rail Leyline Prodigy. We did not hit a Wish. We'll play Strike It Rich. So when Hivemind goes to copy, it will copy the modes that we choose. So we don't want to do Destroy Artifact. That is not what we want to do here. We'll play another Rail. Pyretic Ritual. Okay. Let's move our Exile Zone away from the stack. I find that to be a little confusing. We'll say Tails. We lose the flip. Little Pyretic Ritual. Storm is 12. Choose Tails. We lose the flip. I suppose we'll Reckless Impulse. They hit a Mirror Pool and a Primeval Titan. We'll say tails. We lose the flip again. Reckless Impulse. We'll play another Ruby Medallion. Manamorphose. We'll choose tails. We'll say blue again. We have enough red. Friends Resolve. The One Ring. Mycosynth Gardens. Yep. We finally won on our second rail. Yes, I would like to transform. We will now keep the new and shiny rail. And now Runs Resolve. We hit Wish. Let's play Wish. So now they can play a card from their sideboard. We will minus the rail. And now we will into the Floodmaw the Hive Mind. They Endurance me in response. That's a little annoying, but yeah. I mean, I still think we're going to win this game, but it's annoying. They bounce my Ruby, that's fine. And now their fish will untap due to Amulet of Vigor. Spicy. This person's fish is not tapped. Just straight value. Okay, so now we can try to finish winning this game. Let's play a Wish. And Grapeshot. Sweet. That was a weird game. I don't know how I want to sideboard for this, because I don't think they're going to have much for us. Like, I could just try a couple copies of Into the Floodmaw over Strike and just call it a day. But I'm also not sure how good Flame is in this matchup outside of killing amulets. I suppose we'll try it. We are on the draw for game number 2. I've opened up a reasonable hand. Let's see what the opponent's up to. My fear is that this hand has no mana, and I'm not going to be fast enough, but no point living in fear. We'll play Thundering Falls. We do not need another Wish. That can go to the graveyard. Saga goes to the second chapter. They play a Forest. That's a Ritual. That's good. Play the Ruby. Pass the turn. They have a Beseiju. That is just not very nice. Grab another Thundering Falls. Well, I'll find a Ruby. How about that? And now the Saga will go to the third chapter. They have an Amulet. Misty is their land for the turn. I'm going to fetch. Let's grab a basic here. Play the Ruby. And then I'm going to pass the turn. If they fetch, I'm going to kill the Amulet of Vigor. Alright, and now I'll kill the Amulet. So this way they can't have a counterspell available. Goodbye, Amulet. I've never seen a Glimpse of the Impossible do that. They select a Hedge Maze. Another Beseiju. Alright, we'll grab our third Surveil land here, which is a commercial district. Look at me, all the mana in the world. I do not need an Arid Mesa. That can go to the graveyard. Simic Growth Chamber. They pick up the basic Forest. Another Flame. Let's try Ren's Resolve. We'll just pass the turn. I have a feeling that the play is going to be to draw 2 on their end step with the Flame. The One Ring. You got it. So we do have a Thassa's Oracle on our sideboard. We are capable of beating that. But it can also not be destroyed by Flame. I'm just throwing that out there. We will draw 2 cards. Past Inflames and a Reckless Impulse. So we still have this Wish. Alright, we draw Desperate Ritual. So I do have to be concerned with Endurance. That's a card that could hurt us here. Let's splice a Desperate Ritual. This will make 6 red mana. Storm is 1. Let's move this Wish over so it's not near the stack. And let's play Reckless Impulse. There's my Rail Monsoon Mage, good old friend. So I could splice another Desperate Ritual, but then I lose all my blue mana, if that matters. I think I'd rather keep my blue mana open. We'll play Desperate Ritual. Choose Tails. We win the flip. No. I'm going to try Past in Flames. If they have an avenue to Endurance, and they just concede. Alright, well, we are 2-0. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. For round number 3, we lose the die roll. I'm going to keep this. It doesn't have a Ruby Medallion or a Rail Monsoon Mage, and in the Storm Discord, there's a lot of people that joined and asked questions about what they should be keeping, and some people believe that you don't keep hands without Ruby Medallion or a Rail Monsoon Mage. I'm here to tell you that that is pure garbage. Don't listen to those people. Because, you know, your deck has Surveil lands, you have Reckless Impulse effects, you can find those Ruby Medallion cost reducers at some point. They pick up their own Thundering Falls. Is this the mirror match? Steam Vents. Uh-oh, it is the mirror match. No! That's a rail. Our hand is not suited for the mirror. Okay. Ren's Resolve. They opened up a much better hand than we did. My only hope is that they fizzle. The Ruby Medallion and a land were the cards they revealed. I'm going to move. It's hiding behind my sideboard. When it pops back up, I'm going to move it. I guess it's not going to. All right, we'll slide this down. Flame of Anor. So one more spell and they can flip the rail. We need them to not flip. All right, here it is. Ah, they hit the 50-50. They transformed. Brutal. Okay. We're probably dead. They Manamorphose. Turn 2 on the play. Ruby Medallion. Reckless Impulse. Interesting that they found room for Striker Rich, Flame of Anor, and 3 copies of Glimpse the Impossible. They have Past in Flames. Okay. I'm good to concede here. That hurt. I don't believe you're supposed to sideboard in the mirror match, so I'm just going to resubmit. Game number 2, we've opened up a hand that is literally all mana. We cannot keep this. So this hand needs to find land number 2 and a cost reducer. But is it better than a 5? That's my question. I think so. I mean, it's not great. I'm not excited about keeping this hand. We'll play Commercial District. Surveil away the Past in Flames. Pass the turn. We have a Wooded Foothills. We need the land. Nope. I mean, I took a calculated risk. It did not pay off. Because if we hit a land there, you have Reckless Impulse, and, like, you're still realistically in the game. I don't know how often your 5-card hand wins in the mirror match. They play Thundering Falls. We hit the second land a turn too late. We'll just grab a basic. Play Ren's Resolve. A Thundering Falls and a Valakut Awakening were not very good. They fetch with Arid Mesa. Ruby Medallion. Okay, here's to hoping they fizzle. Another Reckless Impulse. Past in Flames. I don't think they're going to fizzle. They play Manamorphose. Manamorphose. Pyretic Ritual. And now they play the Past in Flames so they can replay their entire graveyard. They found the Wish. Yeah, that's just lethal here. This match was quickly over. Clearly, I am not very good at the mirror match. Unfortunate. We're now 2-1. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4. We're on the play. We've actually won a die roll. I'm going to keep this one-lander. So we have a Surveil land. If we find land number 2, our hand is very good, because Giganta usually means energy in Modern. I don't know why I did this in my main phase. I was too busy talking. Yeah, I just gave away a bunch of information. So it usually means energy. I like Ruby Medallion versus energy, and then the rest of the hand should be good enough to win. I just have to find that second land. Arid Mesa for a Godless Shrine, and Thoughtseize. So a second land will not be good enough here because my Ruby Medallion is going away. Brutal. We find Strike It Rich. I guess we'll play it. Pass the turn. They play Bloodstained Mire into Guide of Souls. Rail, we will pass the turn. So if they give us a window by tapping out, I could theoretically try to do something, but I would also need to draw a land. A land or another ritual. They pick up an Elegant Parlor with the Bloodstained Mire. They play Aether Hub. Okay, so now they gain another energy. Amped Raptor. They find Lightning Bolt. I go to 16. It'll be very interesting to see if they pump up the Guide of Souls here. They just Thoughtseize me 2 turns ago and I did not have a creature. So their incentive to keep the energy up for a removal spell should be low, but they showed discipline here by not doing it. Okay. So they're respecting me drawing the Ral. And I draw Manamorphose. We will just pass the turn. And another Thoughtseize. You're killing me, Smalls. They take a Pyretic Ritual. So they do have the removal spell, which is what that means. Orcish Bowmaster. So you might be saying, Bryant, you could cycle Manamorphose here. There's no world where that's the correct play. I'm sorry. I understand that I'll take a damage off of Bowmasters later, but it is not worth it in this position. Okay, well, the Static Prison on my treasure does hurt. I still wouldn't cycle the Morphos, though. And they have one card left in their hand. My read is that it's still a removal spell, but if I draw a land, I don't think I have a choice. I have to run out the Ral. And I did not draw a land. Okay, pass the turn. So they're attacking here for lethal? Yeah, I mean, I'm counting 9. So this game got away from us. Okay, so we lose game 1. I mean, our opponent did open up on double Thoughtseize and we got stuck on 1 land, but there was a turn where I could have gone for a window to win, and I didn't. So you could argue that it's somewhat on me, and I don't know if I disagree with you, but I would stand by the plays that I made, to be honest. Like, sometimes you just lose, and I think people get a little irrational with that. My perspective is that if you make good decisions and lose, it's okay. Because just results-based thinking doesn't get you very far in life, in my experience. So I'd rather just make the right play, take the percentage that wins the majority of the time, and then, improve my long-term win percentage that way. It's sort of my mindset here. And I don't think jamming into, our opponent gave us the read that they had the removal spell there. They had one card left in their hand at the end of the game that we did not know. So it could have been a removal spell, it might have been a blank, but the read that I had due to the Aether Hub was that they had the instant speed 1 mana removal spell, either a Lightning Bolt or a Galvanic Discharge, something like that. So you also don't want to bring in Veil of Summer here. We did see Thoughtseize. I get that. There's Orcish Bowmasters. But what are you really boarding out? Are you going to board out Flame of Anor versus a deck that could be bringing in Magebane Lizard or Dampening Sphere? Are you boarding out Reckless Impulse? I don't think that's a good idea. And tell me what card you think is worse than Veil of Summer in this main deck. Because I think that boarding in Veil of Summer versus Mardu energy is kind of a trap. Game number 2, we're on the play. I will keep. This hand is capable of casting spells. That's crazy. We'll play Thundering Falls. Keep the Reckless Impulse. Pass the turn. They play Sacred Foundry. Untapped. We'll play Steam Vents. Ouch. Go to 18. Ruby Medallion. Pass. They have Aether Hub into Amped Raptor, which finds a Guide of Souls. So the window is currently open for me to try to win this game. Ren's Resolve. We will fetch with the Wooded Foothills. Let's thin our deck a little bit. Grab a basic mountain. Pyretic Ritual. We'll play Reckless Impulse. Into the Floodmaw and Wish. Let's Ren's Resolve. It's a Ruby and a land. So that was not great for us. I will play the Desperate Ritual. Let's play Ruby Medallion. And now I can play Wish into Empty the Warrens for 14. Does that win? It probably wins. I could also Galvanic Relay for 7. I mean, I don't know if they can beat 14 goblins, backed by 2 removal spells. So I think we should go with Empty the Warrens. Okay, it's goblin time. What are you going to do? They play an Ajani. Okay, so now they can create a cat token blocker. And their Guide of Souls is going to give them enough energy to attack and pump, if that's something they even want to do here. They play Blood Crypt untapped. Interesting. And now they're attacking with the Guide of Souls. Brave. Okay, we'll take 3. Another Into the Floodmaw. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to attempt here to bounce the Ajani because I think they played the Blood Crypt untapped so they could kill their own Ajani in response to my Flood. So we could then respond with Flame of Anor or Into the Floodmaw. And they let it go. Let's play Thundering Falls. Surveil. Wish. We'll keep that on top. I think we should attack out and see what happens. Alright, so you'll take 13. And we'll pass. So I don't need to Into the Floodmaw now. They bolt me, I go to 11. And now that they're tapped out, let's kill the Guide of Souls. I probably could have left behind a goblin or two to make this less dicey, but I don't think that they can kill me from here anyway. So they attack with both creatures, I go to 7. They can play Ajani. They could kill their own Ajani somehow, and then deal me damage, but I think I still live through that. Blage, sure. So this makes my attack much better, because now when they gain life, I'm still going to have lethal. Okay, off to game 3. Resubmit. Alright, so we're on the draw. It's actually a very similar hand to game number 1, except I have Into the Floodmaw to buy time, but also answer their hate permanents. Being on the draw, I'm going to keep this. If I was on the play, I would mulligan this hand. They just have a turn 1 Arid Mesa, okay. Another Past in Flames is not a very good draw. Unfortunate. They pick up an Elegant Parlor, gets rid of an Aether Hub, Bloodstained Mire, and finds a Blood Crypt. They go to 16. Magebane Lizard. So we do have this Into the Floodmaw, but I am not quite ready to win. We will grab a Thundering Falls. There's land number 2. I'm going to just play the Ruby here. If they have, you know, a Static Prison, so be it. But I think it's correct to play out the Ruby. Land number 3, they fetch. And they do have Static Prison. Okay. Ocelot Pride. We'll take 1 going down to 16. Another Into the Floodmaw. Okay. So on their end step, I'm going to bounce the Magebane Lizard. And then we can untap, take a draw. And if it's a Reckless Impulse type effect, I can Into the Floodmaw the Static Prison. And then go off. We'll take 2, I go to 14. So they make a cat. They still have 4 cards in hand. End step, we will bounce the Magebane Lizard. I'll take 1. I think the card I want the most here is Wish. Valakut Awakening. That is not a bad one. Alright, so we'll now Into the Floodmaw, bouncing Static Prison, giving them a tapped fish. Also, Into the Floodmaw looking great here. Pyretic Ritual. Let's splice a Desperate Ritual, going up to 6 mana. I'm going to Valakut Awakening for 2. We'll get rid of the other Past in Flames. Manamorphose. Okay, we'll play that. A Bowmasters. Okay, sure. I don't know why you wouldn't have hit the Valakut earlier, but sure. You got it. I'll take a few points of damage. I don't mind. We'll make 2 blue mana here. Alright, I go to 11. We'll play a Reckless Impulse, Storm 7. Let's play Ren's Resolve. We'll play Desperate Ritual. And now we will splice this Desperate Ritual. And cast this Desperate Ritual. And now we'll Past in Flame, Storm 12. We will bounce the Orcish Bowmasters. And then I will draw 2, using the Flame of Anor. And if they're duds, I can always put them on the bottom with Valakut Awakening. They were not duds, though. Another Ruby is quite nice. And now we'll just cast some spells here. Pyretic Ritual. We have to find a Wish still. We have Lethal Storm, but we have to find the Wish. Manamorphose. We'll make 2 blue. Another Manamorphose. Alright, we're going to make a bunch of blue mana here. Storm is 20. Another Past in Flames. We'll play another Manamorphose. Pyretic Ritual. Ren's Resolve. We'll play Reckless Impulse. Play Reckless Impulse. Ren's Resolve. We'll play some Desperate Rituals out of the graveyard. I don't want to accidentally run out of red because I'm not paying attention. We'll draw 2 with the Flame of Anor. Let's play Reckless Impulse. Storm 30. Reckless Impulse, Storm 31. It's a whole lot of lands in exile. Let's play Rail Monsoon Mage. Why not? I probably could have played it a few spells earlier, but I didn't. Into the Floodmaw. We will bounce an Orc Army. Rail will now trigger. Storm 33. They attempt a Lightning Bolt. I will Valakut Awakening from the graveyard. We'll choose Tails. We lose the flip. Alright, Valakut Awakening. Put Past in Flames on the bottom. And now we'll draw 2. We drew another Rail. I'm actually at risk of running out of red mana here. This could be a loss because I made too much blue. We'll choose tails. We won the flip. Yay! So now our rail will transform, and our opponent concedes the match. I want to look at the top 3 in case we lost. Ritual. Alright, so it would have been not great. However, we could still flashback past in Flames. All we needed to find was something to make red mana. So maybe don't make 6 blue mana. I understand, like, I thought that I had infinite red. Clearly I did not. Because we got down to 18 cards in our deck without ever finding Wish. So 4 mana or blue mana, probably good. 6 is probably too much. So lesson learned, and now we're 3-1. There's 1 match left to go. Hopefully we win that. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The final match. We're on the play, and we've opened up a hand with a lot of good things. We don't have a cost reducer, but this hand is stable, which I really like. So you have Flame of Anor to answer, you know, a creature that might be coming at you quick early on. You have some digging between Commercial District and the Scalding Tarn for a, why can't I think of the name of it now? Thundering Falls. You also have Reckless Impulse. Like, there's just a lot to like about this hand. We will lead on Commercial District. We will surveil away the Past in Flames and pass the turn. Spire Bluff Canal. You don't see that too often. I'm going to just play a Scalding Tarn here and pass. Like, I could Reckless Impulse. I think I just want to grab the Thundering Falls. And do we finally have a match where I can board in Veil of Summer? Steam Vents, okay. Is this just like Gift Storm or like some sort of weird, like, is it Murktide? Thundering Falls. Keep the Ren's Resolve. I'm going to just play the Arid Mesa and pass. Like, I can't figure out what this person is playing. And if they're on Gift Storm, I want the Flame of Anor open. But I can't imagine someone's playing Gift Storm in the year 2024. Alright, we'll fetch. Grabby Thundering Falls. Rail Monsoon Mage. Alright, I will play the Rail. Let's see if they remand or something. We'll play a Steam Vents. Attempt to Pyretic Ritual. Galvanic Discharge. We will now try to Manamorphose. And if this resolves, I can play the Flame to try to flip it again. Ooh, and it does. So we can flip our Rail. And now Manamorphose. We'll do red-blue. Your Galvanic Discharge is no good here. But you do get a bunch of energy. We'll say Tails. Alright, and now Pyretic Ritual back on the stack. Let's Ren's Resolve. Oh, I have to plus the Rail. My bad. I was like, why isn't this just 1 mana? Ren's Resolve. Into a couple of rituals. I like that. We'll play Pyretic. Play Pyretic. Reckless Impulse. Another Past in Flames. So this one would cost 3. Let's try playing this. Do you have a counter spell? They do. Okay. So I could flashback Past in Flames, but I would have no mana floating. So I'm going to just draw 2 here. Another Reckless Impulse. We'll play it. I think I'm going to keep the Manamorphose for next turn. We will pass. They Galvanic Discharge my Rail. Yeah. And a Lightning Bolt, sure. They have 3 cards remaining in their hand. 2 after the Steam Vents. Unfortunately, we're not in a great spot here. So I'll play the Mountain. Manamorphose. We'll make red-red. I'm going to attempt this Valakut Awakening. I think I'm actually going to put the Ritual on the bottom. I'd rather just look at 4 new cards. It's not bad. Reckless Impulse. Eats a Spell Snare. I am good with that exchange. They have 1 card left in their hand. I'm so glad that we got paired against a blue deck, because I was going to feel a little bad if we added like Veil of Summer to our deck and the whole thing was about how good Veil of Summer is or whatever, and we just don't get paired against anything where Veil of Summer is actually relevant. So I have seen this deck before. It's playing the new Blue Flare and Force of Negation. It's supposed to be a combo killer. That said, I feel pretty far ahead in game number 1. Ruby Medallion. Consign to Memory. Alright, they have 1 card left. I'm going to Valakut Awakening again. Getting rid of this Strike It Rich. We just don't want it. Pass the turn. So they have 2 cards. We have enough now to flashback Past in Flames. I'm not sure if we want to, but we could. Rail. Let's play it. Stern Scolding. Okay. It seems like every turn they're just drawing the right card. So, I mean, if that's their game plan, I mean, it's going well. They attack for 1 again, I'll go to 14. I can't but wonder if maybe I should just put the Giganta to my hand for once. We'll play the Stomping Ground. Alright, Big Jegs, you're coming home. We will pass the turn. They attack for 1, we'll go to 13. The Wren's Resolve. Play Giganta. It resolves! Let's go, Big Jegs! I'm not afraid to go beat down. I've gone coast to coast. Arid Mesa. I mean, I think we make Giganta a problem for them, so we will we'll attack. I believe I still have a couple mountains in the deck to fetch for. They block. And we'll just pass the turn. Lightning Bolt, that's not enough to kill it. Did you think that was going to trade? Spikefield Hazard. Alright, our Giganta has been answered. It cost them 3 cards, I think that's fair. Okay, they're now down to 2 cards in hand. We'll fetch with our Arid Mesa down to 12. Grab one of our 2 remaining lands. And now we drew the last. Okay. Let's try a Wren's Resolve into 2 lands that have no fetchables. Okay. We will pass. They pick up a Thundering Falls. I mean, maybe I should just play Wish and see if they counterspell it. Because if they don't, I could try to empty. Alright, Rail is good. We'll play the Rail. Counterspell. I suppose I'll play Wooded Foothills. Desperate Ritual. Let's try Wish. They used the Flare of Denial, which was the last card in their hand. I'm going to cycle Manamorphose here. Because if I draw Ruby Medallion or something, I want it to resolve. We'll make red. Or I could draw another land. Alright, so both of us are officially hellbent. Like, I have a dead land in my hand, but they're about to draw for turn. They fetch another Thundering Falls. So they kept their 1 card on top, so it's probably a counterspell. We will try to draw 2. Pass the turn. Alright, let's flashback Past in Flames. Let's see if this even resolves. Snapcaster into counterspell. Yep. You got it. We will play a Strike It Rich. Pass the turn. They swing for 2, we'll go to 10. Flame of Anor. I think we should just try the Past in Flames again. Like, just, you have to have a counterspell or else I win. And they do. Okay, so we have 1 more Past in Flames and I believe 2 more Wishes. We'll flashback Strike It Rich. Pass the turn. There's 18 cards left in my deck. Our opponent so far has gone toe-to-toe. I did feel really far ahead at one point, but I believe that's changed. Preordain. They put 2 cards on the bottom. We'll sacrifice our treasure. And they're going to draw 2 with Flame. Flame was a very good draw for them. They play a Scalding Tarn, still 2 cards in hand. Manamorphose, let's play that. Blue-red. We will Flame to draw 2. Wren's Resolve and Strike It Rich. I'm worried that if I get hit, I die to Snapcaster Bolt Snap Bolt. Okay, so let's see if we could draw a counterspell here. I'm going to Desperate Ritual with Splice. 6 red mana. That resolves. We will play another Wren's Resolve into double Ruby Medallion. So that actually does nothing for me here. Okay. There's still 2 copies of Wish and a single Past in Flames left in the deck. And I'm at 8 life versus a Snapcaster Mage. They pick up an island. They Flame of Anor. Yep. So they've pulled really far ahead this game now, because now they have 4 cards in hand in their deck that's just full of counterspells. The Past in Flames, even if we draw it, might not be enough. They put 2 cards on the bottom with Preordain. Tune the Narrative. Thundertrap Trainer. They find Flame of Anor. So they could destroy my Ruby, but I'm not even sure if that's something they want to do. Apparently it is. Okay, so they've tapped out, but they are a Flare of Denial deck. Okay, well I guess they have another Scalding Tarn. We drew another land. You gotta be kidding me. Play Strike It Rich. Flashback Strike It Rich. And we'll pass. I don't know how this game got so far away from me here. So they can attack plus Lightning Bolt, and then that's the game. So Snapcaster Mage or Lightning Bolt 3 or 4 kill me. They play a land. So Past in Flames, Wish. Alright, we'll play Wish. They counter spell, and that's game. Alright, so now we're going to the post-board games. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Alright, we definitely want 4 Veil of Summer. I don't actually think that this is a great flame matchup, so I'm going to board out 2 of them and submit. Alright, game number 2, we're on the play. This is risky just because if you don't hit the land off the commercial district, I don't love your odds of winning. But the rest of the hand is very good. We did lose a game earlier where we kept a hand like this. It's just mulliganing against like the ultra slow blue deck where every card matters, just like, it's not a play I want to do. So I'm going to try this. And hopefully we find that land. Play commercial district, surveil. Yes. Keep that on top, pass the turn. I need to play a little quicker because I'm down 2 minutes on time, and how long that first game was. I mean, there's a chance that we could end up very low on time for the end of the round. Included Delta for an island, Preordain. Alright, we're going to use this Bloodstained Mire. I'm going to grab Steam Vents. I don't want to get cut off of blue for this flame. Play the Ruby. Pass the turn. It does resolve. I would like to draw a Veil of Summer. Thundertrap Trainer. So they could have the flame, or why can't I think of the name of it? I saw it in game 1. The sacrifice a blue card counterspell. Pyretic Ritual. Let's Reckless Impulse. Flare of Denial. That's what it is. Let's Desperate Ritual. Runs Resolve. Pyretic Ritual. Play Ruby Medallion. Let's play Wish. See if that's good enough to draw out a counterspell. They definitely have Flare of Denial here. Alright, I'm going to respond with Valakut. Because if I draw Veil of Summer, we could still crush them. So we're going to draw 2 cards. And I drew the Veil. So let's Manamorphose. Red, green. We will Veil of Summer the Flare of Denial. And now Wish resolves. And I think this is just empty the warrants for 24. Alright, there's a horde of goblin tokens. Let's go! Alright, we got to use Veil of Summer in a meaningful way. Love that. Okay, resubmit. We're going to keep this. They play Thundering Falls. They kept the card on top. Commercial District, Surveil. We'll keep Manamorphose. Pass the turn. Scalding Tarn. They fetch into Preordain. 1 on top, 1 on the bottom. Cameo. I'm going to use this to, I think, play the Ruby. The fear is Flame of Anor when they have a wizard in play. We'll play the Ruby Medallion. Pass the turn. Do you want to counter it? Force of Negation, exiling a Thundertrap Trainer. Okay. So now they attack with the Tameo. They get to investigate, create a clue. They play an island. They have 3 cards, but they are going to start drawing a ton of cards each turn with this Tameo. Thundering Falls. I think we want the land. I'm just going to jam a rail here because I have 2 of them. It resolves. So Galvanic Discharge or Lightning Bolt. It is a Lightning Bolt. They pick up a Steam Vents. And now they draw the card. And now they have 4 cards in their hand. Cameo. Okay. Surgical on the rail. Oh, that's devastating here. Wow. Disgusting. That was so bad for us. They have 2 cards left. We drew another land. Let's put Gigantha to hand. Pass the turn. And this is the unfortunate part where this Tameo is going to take over the game. They swing. Thundertrap Trainer. Finds Flame of Anor. Yep. Valakut Awakening. Let's try it. They counter spell. Pass. So they swing, they create another clue. They now have 2 clue tokens. So if they play the flame here, they will transform the Tameo. But I'm not sure if that's something they even want to do. Alright, so now Preordain. So they could crack a clue and transform. And they wisely don't, because I think this card's just better at drawing cards. They have 2 cards left in hand. Let's play Ren's Resolve. We know one of them is Flame of Anor. So we hit a Past in Flames. And we'll just pass the turn. They draw a card with a clue. And they draw another card. Yep. They play a land, they fetch down to 13. So I have to remember the surgical, because if my wish gets countered, I lose the game, because they could surgical my wishes, and then I have to win with Gigantha, which isn't realistic. We'll fetch, grab a Thundering Falls, keep the Manamorphose. Alright, let's cycle Manamorphose. Red. Veil of Summer. Manamorphose. Red. Another Veil. I'm not even sure if I should play this past in Flames, because I'd have to burn the Pyretic Ritual to do it. But maybe that's fine if it eats a counter spell. Alright, I'm going to burn the Pyretic. We'll play Past in Flames. They allow it to resolve. They can now counterspell Pyretic Ritual or Manamorphose or some other card down the line, which effectively is the same as countering this Past in Flames, but they also get the card out of my graveyard. Manamorphose. They let this one go. Let's Manamorphose again. Is your hand all removal? Or do you think me drawing cards doesn't matter? And then let's Valakut Awakening, a card that you used a counterspell on earlier this game. Okay, so this one was worth counterspelling, and they use a Snapcaster Mage. Sure, we will pass. And step they draw with the clue. My biggest choke point is I need mana at this point. They swing. I'll take 3 down to 12. They have 5 cards in their hand. We know one of the cards is a Flame of Anor. They go down to 10. And now they're going to flip the Tamiyo. Sure. We finally draw... Well, I guess it's not... Finally is not the right word, because it doesn't do much for us at this point. Let's try Ren's Resolve. They use a Spell Snare. Sure. We'll just pass the turn. They draw off the clue. And tune the narrative. They're going to return Surgical Extraction, so that way they can exile the Past in Flames that's in my hand. Before they see my hand, I want to try to draw 2. They have Spell Pierce. Okay. Things are looking grim. They swing, I'll go to 9. They still have 5 cards in their hand. Another Thunder Trap Trainer. Finds Counterspell. We draw Reckless Impulse, we'll play it. I think we're supposed to wait until next turn, assuming I even live, but... Because they can attack for 4. So I'm dead to, like, Bolt Snapcaster or Snapcaster Bolt. Not anymore because they untapped, but I would have been on the end step. They swing for 4. They plus the Tamiyo. They have 5 cards. Another land. So we know that they have at least counter target spell in hand. Let's play Desperate Ritual. And attempt a Wish. Our storm count is currently 2. We'll fetch in response to the counter spell. Grab a basic. Veil of Summer. They have another counter spell. I will try the other Veil of Summer. They have Flare of Denial. So we are dead on board now. And that's the league. So we lost this one. I mean, Veil of Summer was good. Unfortunately, we just got paired into the deck that is literally nothing but interaction. So 3-2. I like Veil. I thought Into the Floodmaw and Flame of Anor were great. No thoughts about cutting them. I think in general, I love my current 75. I know some people are beginning to just cut Striker Rich completely. The match where we lost the Mirror, our opponent also had it. And my fear with not playing Striker Rich is that the deck ends up becoming really clunky, and you end up not having other cards that you could... So you have Ritual, and Manamorphose to reveal off rail. Sometimes it's just nice to have Striker Rich in case you've already used a bunch of your mana. Striker Rich also helps give you 2 opportunities to transform rail on your combo turns. So I don't know if I love cutting it, but that is a card you could cut in order to put more action into the deck, but I'm not sure if it even needs that. So I love the sideboard and I love the main deck. I think the only thing you could even argue is these 2 copies of Striker Rich, but that's all I've got for today. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. Hey, I appreciate you watching today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. Additionally, check out Card Market, Europe's leading card single retailer, where you can buy singles for your deck like, I don't know, the Epic Storm. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching. See ya!